Buddy, it is 8:10 a.m. It is April 26th. Hope everybody had a good day. Yesterday, of course, adds to the craziness. We gap down, try to go a little lower, then we rock it up, and then Google reports, and then we move farther up, back to kind of a key level. So that's what's kind of going on. So we had a couple big earnings out of the way now. So you have Microsoft and Google, and they're up. Google's up 11.68%, Microsoft's up 4%. So that's powering, going to power the markets higher. All right. Today's market this morning is totally opposite of the day before, where you have most of the Mag 7s up today, big. Yesterday you had them all down big. Communications was down 4% yesterday at this time. Now they're up 2.89% with Google. So insanity. Insanity. Without further ado, welcome to my channel. My name is Steven Gonzalez. I use volume profile and market profile to find structure in the market along with anchor VWAPs, gamma exposure, supply and demand, and the most traded price of the year, the rolling month, the rolling week, and the previous day. All helps me find structure in the market and want to be on the side of strength. All right, I use this every morning, and you'll see my scenario later on how I use these tools. It's just I like them because I can just look at my chart and already get a game plan based on how the market's setting up, how it looks, and then it's just a game plan. And then if the game plan is hit, you got to analyze it and then decide to put risk on or not. Okay, so that is that. Now, if you haven't subscribed, set an alert if you haven't already. And if you like what you see, please give me a thumbs up. That would be much appreciated. You could also follow me on X at Gonzo719. All right. So, I think we can get into the futures watch list. Let's see what we have going. We have core PCE this morning coming out. That's the Fed's preferred gauge of inflation. Okay, so VIX is a little elevated because of that. So we should get some movement on that. And the volume's kind of low this morning so far. Let's see what those numbers do. Okay, we'll go over that in a second. That drops at 8:30. We'll take a look at that. Now the VIX is up 1.56%, mainly probably because of this PCE number. Okay, crude's up 1%. Crude's getting love today. Nasdaq's up 1%. ES up 0.76. Silver's up 0.75. Gold is up 0.54. 30-year bonds being bought. So 10-year yield should be a little lower when that reports at 820. Dollar is up 0.18. The Dow is up 0.15. Russell's up 0.06. 10-year yield, like I said, hasn't reported, but that should finally take a little break lower. Bitcoin down 0.47. Ether down 0.94. Okay, moving on to the Mag 7 Plus. Leader, Google reported earnings. They beat. They're up 11.73%. Microsoft reported earnings. They are up 4.11%. Snow's up 3.61%. Amazon up 3.25%. Nvidia's up 1.82. Baba's up 1.8. AMD up 1.69. All above 1%. Meta's back up 1.16%. Buying that dip on Meta. Okay, Tesla's up 0.69. Coinbase up 0.53. Apple got a downgrade today. They are only up 0.06. Boeing's down 0.25. JP Morgan down 0.27. Netflix down 0.32. All right, moving on to the top sector stocks in each sector. All right, Salesforce up 0.7. Eli Lilly up 0.46. Laggards. You got more laggards here. Specifically, you got United Healthcare, Walmart, McDonald's, Cat, Procter & Gamble, Costco, Chevron reported earnings. PepsiCo is down 0.82, and Exxon actually missed, so they're down 1.53. Okay. Now, swing trade list. Let's see what's going on here. Skechers, believe they reported earnings. They're up 9.66%. Datadog's up 4.71. ARM's up 2.62. Arista Networks up 2.55. Supermicro Computers up 2.36. Cloudflare's up 2.06. Lucid up 2%. Vertiv up 2%. Trade Desk, Mara, Donald Trump all up. Okay, is there laggards? Intel, they had bad guidance. They're down 8%. And you just can't buy something here, Intel, right? Atlassian CEO is stepping down. Roku is down 3.41%. Charter Communications down 2.35. Carvana is down 1.42. And Paramount Global is down 1.23. Okay. Moving on to sectors. No surprise here. Communications with Google up 2.89%. XLK up 0.91. These are very large sectors in the S&P, a lot of weight. So XLY is up 0.38. Amazon, Tesla, Home Depot, semis up 0.19. Not as strong as usual, but communications up big, almost a percent. Technology, it's 29% of the S&P. Okay. And we got financials down 0.1 and energy down 0.69. Interesting, crude is up and energy's down. Energy's down because of Exxon and Chevron, right? But crude oil and energy stocks don't always correlate at all. Crude is more speculative trading than it is tied to any kind of stock. So that's how that works. All right. I think we can get into some news and make an calendar here. All right, we'll look at what's coming out at 8:30. All right, so 8:30 we got core PCE. All right, so PCE year over year headline looking at 2.6. All right, previously 2.5. Core PCE year over year forecast is 2.7. Previously was 2.8, looking for a 0.1 reduction. Okay, so if this is hot, it's not good. Okay, if it's hot, so looking at 2.9, 3.0, that would be not good. All right, I don't know how bearish it would be, but it wouldn't be good. Now at 10 a.m., you have Michigan consumer sentiment and inflation expectations. Okay, that will move the market. So another day where you kind of want to lay low until maybe 10:05, 10:10. I wouldn't be putting on a trade close to 10 o'clock. If you do have a trade on prior to 10 o'clock, you probably should take it off. That's what we're looking at. So we'll go back to that to see, well, not to the 10 a.m., but the 8:30 core PCE. We'll see how the market moves on that. Should cause some volatility. Okay, should move the dollar and the bond market. Okay, now the 10-year yield has not reported yet in toss. 8:20, that will do that. Some news. So Google, we already talked about. They beat Microsoft. Snap stock soared 25% after the show's meeting reported quarterly revenue and user data figures that were above expectations. Intel stock fell 8%. Exxon fell 1%. Hertz stock fell 5% after the rental company reported wider than expected quarterly loss. Chevron stock fell 0.4% after the energy company took a hit from weak natural gas prices. And that's all there. Okay. Let's see in the juice. Just trying to see if anything was not really. Nothing in the juice. Now, as far as upgrades and downgrades, you have upgrades were Dow, Enphase, Western Digital. Those are upgrades. Downgrades, you have Boyd, Gaming, Cat, Hertz. That's really all the ones that were there. You did have, I think we had some price targets, raised some target prices here. So some target price raises. We have CAT, Google, from a 172 to 182, from a 170 to 190 for Google, wow, 210 for Google, 190 for Google, a bunch of target raises for Google. Microsoft also got target raises, 489, 470, 515. Okay. Snap also got a target raise, and Union Pacific. So that's target raises. I mean, was any lower target? Let's see. A target lowered for Intel. So a bunch of Intel target lowered. That would wrap up that. We already went over earnings. I don't have to show you the earnings we reported today. We talked about that already. So I think we can get right into a daily chart here. And like I said, we'll go back to futures when that reports. All right, so again, because of earnings, this SPY chart isn't going to show you the whole story. Okay. Now, yesterday, we opened here, pushed down, and then the rest of the session we rose up, filled the gap. Okay. Filled the gap in futures. Technically, you did not fill the gap. Some people call the close in stocks the gap. So if you really went by the close, you did not fill the gap. But in futures, you did. Okay, so you can see we're still in this channel, right? Where are we at now? 507. We are right here. So we're gapping up right here. Right at the highs of this candle. Okay, so you have all these candles here that really haven't been taken out yet. Okay, you kind of had an inverse head and shoulders kind of setting up still. So if this pushes today, expected move today is about $5. So $5. Now this makes it difficult because the close was at 503.49. So 503.49. Yeah, right. So we closed here expecting about $5. That would be 508.37. So that'd be around here. Okay, 50-day moving average is up here. That's just the gauge of the expected move. They're right about 70% of the time. Doesn't mean it's always right, right? So 30% of the time it's not. But more times than not, it is. Okay, so that's what's going on. All right, so we're above this channel now. We're outside of it. And really on the doorstep here. Okay. Now, we look at the futures, you're going to see a different tail. See that? So this was yesterday's close. Here's last month's lows, right? So now we have a double top here. We have a weak high here in futures. Futures is here right now. So this level's and you can really see it in futures, right? You can see resistance, resistance, and now we're here. If this market decides to hold this level, it could power higher today. Looking at a 50 point move in futures. Okay, that would be the close yesterday here. 50 is 51.80. 51.80 is around the 50-day moving average right here. The 50 SMA on the futures. That's the expected move if you go higher. If you go lower, you're looking at 52, about 51.80. So about right here, 51.80, about right there. So that's a key level, 51.33. Okay, break that, you're probably going to move up to the 20-day moving average or to 50. So very important to look at futures, right? I mean, we do look at that, but I like looking at it this way too. So let's look at the NASDAQ. Now we got news coming out at 8:30. So NASDAQ, okay, we're playing around with this 100-day moving average. So yesterday, you about closed right there. But of course, Google reported. So it makes everything all weird, right? Because here it doesn't, it doesn't account for futures. So, but But however, see how we opened here, pushed down, right? Broke the low previous day. No, that's not the previous days. This is the 23rd's lows. Couldn't go any lower. And then it kind of ripped up to the 100-day moving average to this little trend line right here. Okay. Under still the 9 EMA daily. However, 428.35 is where we're at right now. 428.35. We are right here. So now you have two candles here that have been resistance here. Okay. So like I said, this obviously has last month's lows here at 432.68. I expect the move today is $5.30. That would bring us to about $5. It's like $4.29. It could bring us here, right? So we're almost at the expected move already for today from yesterday's close. So it'll be very, very, very interesting. Okay. Now futures will tell the story here. Right here, right? So in futures, look, you have a weak high. You have this little double top here, right? You're holding the 9 EMA daily and the 100-day moving average on futures. So this level right here is very important, 178.29. We'll talk about it in a little bit. Okay, so look, came down again, and now we're back up here. So you have this candle here, and this candle. So if you really push higher, try to test these monthly lows at 18,000. 20-day simple moving average is right there. So in futures, 226, you're looking at 226 added to 226. That's about almost up to here, to last month's lows in futures. Okay. So futures gives you a better look because it gives you all the price action, with earnings and stuff like that. So, I mean, we'll get into the plan in a little bit. I just want to see if the core PCE is what that is showing, what that will show. Because if it's hot or if it's cold number, it's going to definitely affect the market, cause some volatility, and the setup will be changed, right? The setup will change. So while we're waiting, 10-year yield has reported. I said it should be down a little bit. It is down 0.51%. So let's look at that while we get ready for the news release. All right. So you can see we're just holding, right? 10-year yield spiked up yesterday, right up to here, 4.7. Okay. And now it's down 0.5%. We're down to 4.684 yield. Still the bonds are being sold. Okay. So this is rising up as bonds are being sold. So if we start to push up about 4.8, I mean, it's going to put weight on markets, right? So we're looking at the triple-headed monster right now. So, and now let's go to the other leg of this, the dollar. And these should move with this PCA number. So the dollar's pulling back. Okay, pulling back right to the 20-day moving average. Let's see if you can push up. Now, if it pushes up again, the Picardo with this PCE number, it's going to put weight on the market. Okay, and the VIX, we're still, let's see here, we popped up real high to 21, right? But holding above this 15, today we're at 15.7, right? A 16 VIX is a 1% expected move in the markets, brings volatility. So we still have a little bit of fear in this market. That's 30 days out of fear is the VIX. Okay, 30 days out of fear is the VIX. All right, now we can get into this news that just dropped. NQ supply, ES supply. All right, I'm hearing supply alerts here. So here's ES, big orders hitting the tape. Okay, let's look at first the actual data. Okay, so what do we have? The number one you want to look at is the core PCE year over year. Oh, okay. It was hotter. So forecast was 2.7. Core PCE came 2.8. That is the Fed's preferred gauge. Okay, came in hotter. It came in the same as last month. Now PCE headline. Okay, headline 2.6 came in 2.7, so zero point 0.1 hotter in both. All right, personal spending. Let's see, that came in expected 0.5. Personal spending month over month 0.8. Forecast for personal income 0.4. Actual 0.5. Core PCE month over month forecast 0.3, came out 0.3. So I mean, it's 0.1 hotter in PCE year headline and PCE in core. This market decided to go a little higher. I don't know. That could be a little bit of a trap. We can look at it, of course. You can zoom into this number here. So this could be a little fake out here. Okay, we can also bring it up here. Let's look at it. We can bring it up here with the ES futures. So you can see right here is yesterday's highs, right? So you can see right here, this is a daily chart. So we can zoom into like an hourly chart. So we pushed up. See, now that's what I'm saying. You pushed up to here. This could be a reversal time because the numbers don't support bullish activity. However, though, if it stays bullish, negative news is if it stays bullish, then that's bullish. Okay, but I think that might be exuberant, and you broke this consolidation. Okay, so let's go back to here. Okay, so this is really the important area. Now we can get into this. So it broke this supply zone that was here. Let's get rid of that supply zone. All right. So we broke out of that consolidation. Now this could be a reversal here. So if you have this balance, right, and the price, let's get my marker out. So you have this consolidation, right? Then price just went here. Now if price returns back to this balance, guess what that's going to be? That's going to be a look above and fail. So all these longs, right? Everyone who is long, especially here, if we come back, we're going to come back, test this level. We could make our way back here because the numbers aren't good. They're not horrible, but they're not great. They're not supporting bullish activity. So, like I said though, if bearish news is bullish on the price chart, then it's bullish. But however, right now you have to wait and see because most people might be like, all right, you just went up. Now I'm going to short. So we can get into structure now. Okay, so I'm going to make this so we can see it, see what we've been dealing with. Okay. So what do we have? So we have a big spike. Okay, this is from Google in futures. So that's the beauty of futures. It includes that price action. Okay, so what do we have now? In the ES, we're not gapping up now. Okay, we have a session here that's pretty balanced because of this push up, right? Price is right here in the middle, so you equal sellers and buyers. Okay, so this is yesterday's highs, this is yesterday's lows. Overnight high, overnight low. You have the spike here from Google, which does not have a lot of volume. You can see how thin it is, right? So what I'm gonna now, and you also have, okay, I want to make this clear. This area here, you have single prints from the past, from this sell-off. Right above us. We went into them a little bit yesterday, right here. Okay, so you have this should not be resistance if we go higher. Okay, and you have that key level I talked about. So let's talk about this level, which is about, let's say 51.28, 51.30 right here. This is kind of like a breakout level. If you really move up, it could really take us farther. Okay, so you have this spike and prices within the spike. That's bullish. Okay, spike was from here, spiked up, closed, overnight activity, prices right here, accepting prices higher, so that's bullish. Okay, so we're going to get right into these scenarios. Okay, let's do it right now. Okay, so we're going to start with a bullish scenario. All right, so we have demand zone down here, right? But right now the most traded price is 51.02. Okay, now 51.02, what does it do? It lines up, right? 51.02 lines up here. Most traded price of the week, right? You have demand a little lower. However, this level is kind of the base of the spike as well, and the 9 EMA on the daily chart. Okay, what I would kind of like to see is if price can try to push up onto these single prints. Now, of course, you could just rock it up, but what I would talk about more was come up, come through the open. Right, here's the most traded price. Now price is starting to move higher. Right, that's bearish news moving higher is very bullish. So if we do though come back, take out this overnight low, and we test the most traded price of the week. Okay, if we don't find acceptance below this, now you could even dip down into this demand, come right back up, hold. You're gonna want to go long here, and then this resistance area that's been this breakout level is he also ties in with single prints, so you can move higher. Right, here's monthly VWAP. If you take that out, you got the 50-day moving average up here around 51.80 on the daily chart. Okay, you'll finally get that big push. Like I said, you kind of got an inverse head and shoulders on the chart right now. That's if everything stays strong. Okay, that's if everything stays strong. That's kind of like what I would be looking for mainly. Now, as far as the bear scenario, okay, if the market tries to push up, fails, right? Single prints. If you fail in single prints, well, that's bearish. Lower high, you are going probably right down to this level, right? And then conversely, if you hold this level and start eating into this demand, you got to eat into it, hold, that could make the market go lower. Okay, back to the 100-day moving average on futures. All right, so this 51.02, call it 51.02 to 5100, is very key bull bear line. If it's held, probably going to go higher. If it's broken, You're probably going to go lower, but it's got to hold above or below. It could quickly go above or quickly go below. That's not acceptance. So that's what I'm looking at for the ES. Okay, now the NASDAQ, let's see if that's any different. Sometimes they have a different structure. Okay, NASDAQ already has a different structure. Okay, let's zoom into this right here. Okay, profile is a lot of distribution. That's because of earnings. Okay, now let's look at this. Okay, NASDAQ futures. Okay, most traded price of the week is around like 176, 17,600 right here. Okay, we're above that. Price is here. Okay, you got your spike from Google. The close. You're holding the spike. It's bullish. We just got negative news. Now it's starting to work its way in the lower half of this overnight session in the NASDAQ. Okay, you have a weak high here. Overnight high and yesterday's high. That's a breakout point. It also could be resistance. Okay, now I think we broke this supply zone. Let's break out this. Let's break this out. Yes, we did. So I'm going to get rid of that supply zone because that's no longer a thing. Okay. So this is the 30-minute bars in the overnight session. Here you see the push up from PCE. Now, like I said, now we're testing the other side of this. Okay, that's a look above and fail. And now these longs are going to start to see if they might have to liquidate their position. Okay. Okay. So overnight low, overnight high. There's your overnight low and overnight high. Here's your spike. Okay. Here's your 100-day moving average in futures, acting average resistance again. Okay, 9 EMA daily. And then we got our most traded price with demand zone. Okay, so this spike doesn't have much volume. You almost can't even see it. Right, so we can definitely rip down here. So it's going to be the same type of scenario. Okay, same type of scenario. Got demand zone here. Okay, you have a breakout point right here at like 178.18, 178.20. Okay, so very simply, give me one sec. Okay, so as I expected, we're starting to get, we're at the lower end of this session, which is fine, right? Now, let's get into scenarios. Okay. All right. So if I'm looking bullish, right? So I like that weak high up here as a breakout point. Okay. I would like to see this market push up, maybe even come through this most traded price, hit the overnight low. Remember, this is all thin volume, pretty much single prints, and that could just be frothiness that the market needs to take care of. Come down to the most traded price of the week and demand zone, and then you just want to see this hold. This is also the 50% retracement of yesterday right here. So if they come down and you hold, that could be the move up. You can break this and go right up to the 20-day simple moving average and monthly VWAP at 179. Basically, I think, like I talked about before, we can go to 18,000. 18,000 has single prints. We could even make a move up through those single prints. Okay? That's really what I'm going to look for. Okay? Not sure if that happens, but that's a scenario that I would like to see. Now, bearish. Okay. Now, remember, this weak high here always can act as resistance too. Doesn't mean you need to break out of it. So what you can have happen here is you can go push up, test this. Remember, we got bearish news. If you test this and just pop your head above it, but then can't hold it, you get lower highs. Break through this 100-day moving average, right? You take out the overnight lows, and now you're going to test this. You're going to test this, okay? Now, what has to happen here is you have to break this and, let's say, do something like this. Take out this demand zone and hold under this level. Hold, hold, hold. And then you're probably going to drop down probably back to here. Okay? Now, what can also happen? Door number 3 is we could do a combo of those moves. We can come up, come down, come up, and balance off in here. Okay? It's a big range from yesterday. Right? We're at that resistance point again in the market. So who knows? Who knows? Right? 10-year yield now is down 0.62. The dollar is up 0.17. Gold, let's see, gold's up 0.65. So even though this number was hot, right? So we're at the lower end of this session now. Okay, let's look at the ES, where that's at. ES is a little stronger. It's kind of in the middle of the session. Okay, so remember, negative news right now. However, it's not horrible, but we just have to play it, right? I'm just going to wait for some type of move down, right? And if the market's not that weak, then you might have a long on your hands, okay? However, that's it for me today. All right, I wish everybody good luck. Stay green. Stay patient. Today's Friday. Have a nice weekend. If you don't hear from me again, okay. Just stay patient, and we have our plan, and let's execute it when it's there.